Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, I'm Alana and welcome to my vlog channel. Today I thought that I would show you guys what my camera makeup looks like. Like, this is when I know I'm going on camera. I do need to give very important context though, that if I go somewhere for a shoot like this and they have a makeup artist, they will usually be like, oh yeah, just some touch-ups, and then it feels like they redo the whole thing. Nobody take this as advice, okay? That's what I'm saying. And while we do that, I wanted to talk about a recent criticism that I've been getting on my main YouTube channel, youtube.com/CharmaLanazard, which I think is totally understandable. I made a post about it, but I thought I would also make a video about it. Easier to share, easier for people to find, because it's like something that I have thought about at length before people even started criticizing me for it. And I also feel like I should say, before we get into this, very kind people will usually respond to something like this with a comment that's like, you don't need to defend yourself, ignore the haters, these people are just hating. And I feel the need to say that. Sorry, I'm already forgetting to annotate what I'm doing. Okay, so we're starting with moisturizer. I use CeraVe in the morning, and I mix it with this vitamin C serum from Korea. Take some in my hand, and then I pour a little of the vitamin C in it, and I mix them together. So I'm not making this video in a way that's like, please haters, accept what I have to say. It's more of, I find this interesting to talk about. It is something that I've thought about really extensively, and I think it also covers a bunch of stuff that people probably don't know about YouTube. We start with this sunscreen. It's tinted sunscreen. I wear this every single day. This is Elta MD UV AOX Elements. It is SPF 50 tinted face sunscreen. Okay, so I have been more and more making videos on serious topics on my main channel, which, yeah, like I said, sort of video essays. And I apologized for this on stream the other day. I was like, I'm so sorry that I keep making such serious videos that can often be bombers. But the truth is, the way that I pick them is it's just things that I really want to talk about. I think that's a great way to make content. I also try to avoid topics that I feel like a million other people have already spoken about, even if often those are better for views. Like, if I feel like I have nothing new to add at all, and it's just like another person's opinion, that doesn't feel like a worthwhile video for me to make. But all of these videos also, regardless of the topic or the seriousness of the topic, all have sponsors in them. This is where the criticism is coming from. It's kind of this idea that having a sponsor in a serious video in some way cheapens the topic or makes it seem like I'm only talking about these things to make money. And I guess it is worth noting that it is sort of new. Before I left my full-time job in 2024, I did not have every single video sponsored because I didn't have to, because I had a full-time job. Now I recognize that, oh, this is done, by the way. It's just base layer of tinted sunscreen, which, like, it kind of does look like foundation. I mean, if I come close, you can still definitely see all my freckles and everything. It doesn't like cover skin or pimples or anything like that, but it's a nice little tint. Anyway, next I use this, which is also sunscreen. This is Color Science Sunforgettable Total Protection Color Balm. This is basically what I use as blush. I'll also put a little bit of this on my lips, but it's also a sunscreen. So you just go like this, like this. Sometimes I put a little on my nose and very messily dab some on my lips as well. So I recognize that if you have a following, people tend to assume that you have millions of dollars. Trust me, if I were a millionaire, I would not have any sponsors in any of these videos. I promise. I would be doing many things very differently. I do not have $100,000 in my bank account. I don't have $50,000 in my bank account. I don't have $10,000 in my bank account. I'm not trying to, no part of me is trying to claim to be a victim in this. I'm very happy with the money I make. I spend a lot of money. I go see my family in Australia every few months. That's expensive. There are many choices I could make to live cheaper. Basically, I'm good, is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to portray that I'm struggling or that I'm a victim here. This is Color Science Total Eye 3-in-1, also SPF. I use this under my eyes. It's almost like a concealer, but really it's because I feel like I'm a lot more delicate in putting the sunscreen under my eyes. And then I put this on with this guy. I don't remember what these are called. It's a sponge. But yes, I would love to be able to magically make whatever content that I want to make without having to worry about paying my bills. But the fact is that's just not where I am at in life. That is simply not a reality. Thus, in order to justify the amount of time that it takes me to make these videos, I have to be sponsored for them. And as it stands, like, some of the criticism for this came across on the video that I made about the child abuse grok stuff on Twitter. Pretty serious topic. It was sponsored. I would guess that that video made around $300 at this point, which, when you factor in the amount of time that I spent to make that video, is less than minimum wage in California. It basically takes me, I would say, around 20, 25 hours to make each of the video essay videos, and I mean every single one. Even the ones that end up being shorter, usually the scripts are much longer, and it's that I've edited them down in post. But it's basically like the sponsors are literally sponsoring me to make the content, like they are patrons, like they are literally the reason that I'm making this content. I would not have the ability to make it without them. They are funding me in order to make these videos. Because the reality basically just is that if they didn't have sponsors in them, considering how low YouTube pays, it's actually worse for me considering I am making videos on serious topics. The rate for how you get paid is lower. Also, the kind of sponsors who will go with you is technically will usually pay you lower. That is certainly a thing. Again, I am making many choices here. And I should note that I choose the topics completely independently. The sponsors have no say in anything like that, but they are the reason that I'm making the videos. And without the sponsors, the reality is just I would have to spend that 20 hours doing something else that will pay my bills. This is Kylie Cosmetics Dusk Rose Dewy Balm Stick. So I just like dab that on my cheekbones a little, and it just gives you a little shine. This one is the same thing. This is Living Luminizer from RMS Beauty. It's also a highlighter. Very pretty little balmy kind of look. This one is full white, and I just put a little underneath my eyebrows. And then I don't always do this, but today we will. A little on the inner corner of my eye. So this is where we get into the predicament, the thing that people are criticizing me for. And it is something that I've thought about, to be clear. There are a few options. The first is, do I just not make the serious videos at all? Because if I'm making these videos and I need to put a sponsor in them in order to justify doing them versus like any other work that I could be doing that would be paying me more, that would be more sensible for my life, perhaps I just completely avoid the serious topics altogether and just do videos that are like, you know, like my Warhammer video or the Yakuza video, or like I made one about the Wicked press tour. Like things that are just less serious than the stuff that I'm making now. Sorry, I'm so bad at this. This is a beard pen. It doesn't say who it's by. It's actually my boyfriend's. I just use it to fill in my eyebrows a little. Though if you didn't know, I have an eyebrow transplant. They literally took hair from the back of my head and put it in my eyebrows because they were so sparse, and I'm very lazy. So I don't really have to do very much for this, which is great. I've also considered spending less time making videos, like, you know, where I currently spend legit 20 hours researching and then scripting and then editing, 100% of which I do myself. I'm partly editing videos myself right now because I feel like I can't afford to pay somebody to do it, at least not a wage that I feel is fair, but also because I'm really picky, unfortunately. But it's also like, I think just when you've written the script and you've done all the research, you know the source material so well that it's probably easier for me to edit than anyone else because I'm doing the whole thing together as a package, right? But spending less time making these videos feels disrespectful to the topics in a way and sort of pointless, especially when my intent is largely to inform. So I could make videos that aren't as serious, but the truth is that leads me to making videos that I don't want to make as much, and thus why do it when I have other paying work I could do. The second is I could spend less time making them, and thus I could justify, you know, the $300 that I might get paid for a video. It goes up and down between that depending on the topic. Obviously, it's not a flat rate guaranteed in any way. Some videos get more views, but same thing, that feels disrespectful to the topics to spend less time on them. I feel like I run much more risk of being inaccurate. Obviously, I'm still capable of being inaccurate, but I always have multiple sources backing up everything that I've said. Very specific about that. So both of those lead me to go, what's the point in making videos, really? If I have all of this other work that I could be doing, unless I really want to make this stuff, and I really feel like I've done my due diligence with it, why make YouTube videos? The third option, again, I've also considered this, is that I could make some extra, like easy, kind of lazier content in between. Stuff like I kind of used to do. I would say I now sort of do this stuff on Twitch, which is like a quick trailer reaction, or just like my opinions on a video game, or a conference breakdown kind of video game stuff. But that feels like I would be making the content literally just to make money. My eyebrows are done. The last thing for my makeup here that I need to do is just a little bit of eyeliner, just a tiny little bit that I put like in the corners of my eyes. But yeah, I could make videos like that would then be sponsored, and I don't know if I can talk while doing any of this really, and have that content like supplement the more serious videos that I want to make. This is like not an uncommon way to work. It would be like a 2 for you, 1 for me kind of thing. But that, especially considering I've never had to do it in my entire career, would feel like making cheap content just for money. Very privileged that I feel like I've never had to do that. I've only ever made content that I really wanted to make. It was very different when I worked at Sony because I didn't have as much time, but I was still having fun doing it. The truth is now that I've left and I have time to actually write these scripts because I'm not working full time, technically. I sort of still am, but it's fine. I'm making content that I'm actually proud of for the first time in my entire tenure on YouTube. Like The stuff that I feel like I always would have wanted to make, I just never had time to do it before the last year and a bit. Like really, it's only been just over 12 months that I've been able to do this, and I'm actually proud of it, and I like the stuff that I'm making. And I feel like I would prefer to, again, leave YouTube than to resort to making stuff, easy content like that just for money. That's again, I'm making all of these choices. That's a decision I get to make. And that's the decision I made, is like, I don't want to do that. I want to keep that channel to the content that I'm proud of and that I'm putting all of this time into, and that has like far higher quality than the stuff that would go on streams. The fourth option, which many people have suggested, is to pursue crowdfunding, like start a Patreon. There are a couple of reasons that I'm against that. The first, I already have one. It's there to fund my podcasts. I also just feel like there are so many subscription services and so many... Look, my thought is, if I'm in a position where I have to think about how I spend my hours individually because I need to make sure that I can get paid and pay my bills effectively, how am I going to get away with asking you to give me money? Like, you're probably in the same position that I am, when I could instead just throw to Geology or Warby Parker, which is worth noting. I am really picky about what sponsors I go with, which I'm also limiting myself there. If I were to take a gambling sponsorship, for example, that there's so much goddamn money in that, I could maybe just do one, and then I could survive off of that money for several months probably. But I am not willing to do that. Really what I'm breaking down to you is the amount of things I'm not willing to do. AI is kind of the same. There's a lot of money in a lot of AI sponsorships right now. I flat decline all of those. So there are a lot of them that I choose not to do. I am effectively going with ones that pay a bit less, which is on me. I also don't accept sponsorships from major video game publishers on that channel, which they would love to give me money. That's probably the biggest market. I don't feel ethically right doing it, so I don't do it. I'm happy to do stuff like that on a Twitch stream because you're watching me play the thing. I don't like the idea of putting in a sponsored ad read for a video game, and thus I don't do it. And yeah, this would all be much easier if I bent on some of those rules for sure. But unfortunately, my personal code of ethics won't let me budge on that, and ends up in the same exact spot where I'm like, I would prefer to quit YouTube than to take sponsors from fucking gambling companies. I had a lot of trouble doing this. The eyeliner part, because I couldn't talk while doing it. So this is Revlon Color Stay Liquid Liner. And yeah, I literally just did like a little, just right on the edge there. Right on the outside. But yeah, sorry. While I totally understand the criticism, it feels like it's basically like this is the thing that I have to do if I want to keep making the videos that I want to keep making. And I do. Like I said, I'm actually proud of the stuff that I'm making right now for the first time in my 10 plus years on YouTube. The thesis is, in order to afford to be able to spend the time making them, they have to contribute to my bills, thus have to be sponsored. And that is my face done. So now I take my hair out, and I really specifically sleep with my hair in this little bun, because usually it comes out actually looking pretty nice. Some people told me to mention channel memberships. Channel memberships certainly do really, really help, but I also want to say I would need so many for it to make a big difference. And I also, again, same as Patreon, don't really feel comfortable asking anyone to do that. One other thing that I wanted to mention, because I also get criticisms for this every now and then, so I felt like I would mention it at the same time. YouTube has changed the way that titles work in a way that I don't think a lot of audiences have realized. So there is now a thing that's called A/B testing, where basically YouTube has you put in 3 separate titles for videos, and then after it has found the data to be conclusive, it will pick one. I'm finally getting this scar cut out, by the way. This nice little scar I have over here. I'm getting it cut out this month. So hopefully it'll just be a straight line. I was supposed to do that literally years ago, but I guess I'm just lazy. And this is the part where we talk about hairstyling. I just brush it. I don't do literally anything else. Sometimes I'll use some dry shampoo, but today we're fluffy, we're good. I will put a little oil in the ends just to be nice to it. And the way that I title my videos is I will usually pick, like the first one is like straight like journalism style news headline. The second is the same, but like I just try to find a different spin on it. And the third is what I usually call a lazy title. Quite literally is that, like, it's just, I can't think of anything else to say, and I go, it's vague, it's really vague. I'll go like, this sucks, or I can't believe this is happening. It's super, super vague. Now this is like body care. I use Glow Oil. This is more SPF 50. I put this on my arms and my legs. This is from Supergoop. A lot of people don't like my lazy titles. I get it, like same thing. But the truth is almost every single time that's the one that YouTube picks. Almost every single time that's the one that gets selected. If it does, I usually change it to a more accurate one in a few days' time. Sorry, this is Kopari Sun Glaze. This is a sheer setting mist, also a sunscreen, SPF 50. One other thing that I thought was worth mentioning, because a lot of people ask about this too, is where the ad spots go. This is always contracted. It is also always contracted that they go on a certain day. Sometimes the ad spots are contracted before I know what the video topic even is. They have to go up on the day that they're set to go up on. And for me, I don't know how other YouTubers are doing this, where they get it right at the start or right at the end. Mine are always contracted to go in the middle of the video, usually the first third of the video, but they always have to be in the middle. They are not allowed to go at the start or the end. That is what my contracts say. Just something I wanted to explain. It really just feels like a, reality of adulthood. In order to keep doing it, I really have to be like, well, these are the terms in which I will do it, basically, because I only have so much time and I need to be paid for my time in order to function as a human being in the world. Again, I'm not a victim here. A lot of this is self-inflicted. I'm doing a lot of this by choice. I feel very lucky to be where I am. I want to fully express that. Just wanted to explain the mindset and also some of the back-end YouTube stuff that I think a lot of people probably don't know. That is it for me today, everybody. I hope you liked my camera makeup test. I'm always very shiny. Sometimes I do just blot out with a tissue or something before I go on camera, but for the most part, that's how we do it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.